Good afternoon, Packers fans. Aaron Nagler here with your Packers Daily Chat, coming to you live on the Cheesehead TV social channels. It is Wednesday. Do you know where your draft picks are? Because the Jets be making moves after signing Cole Hardman. They have traded Elijah Moore to the Browns, along with their third-round pick for the Browns' second-round pick. Now, what, pray tell, could they be planning to do with that second-round pick, other than give it to the Green Bay Packers? Obviously, nothing imminent yet that we've heard of. But it sure feels like the Jets are collecting draft capital for a certain move for a certain Packers quarterback. But nothing official on that front, not even any reporting, just connecting some dots. We'll see if those picks end up in the hands of the green and gold. In the meantime, I wanted to talk about guys who are on the squad already, guys who played well last year, namely the 2022 rookie draft class. Most promising draft class, I think, probably that Brian Gutekunst has ushered in to Green Bay, Wisconsin, and I think across the board, almost everyone, not every single one, but most of them played pretty darn well. At least showed promise. At least showed some of the hope and ceiling that you saw when you drafted them. And oftentimes you'll hear, both in Green Bay and some other places around the league, but often in Green Bay, about the importance of the year one to year two jump and how the jump guys make in the NFL, the biggest jump often comes between their rookie season and their second year. And that has never been more important in recent history in Green Bay than heading into 2023. It's no secret that after they make this trade of Aaron Rodgers to the Jets, the Packers' cap situation will be tight. And it's not that they can't make moves or sign anybody, but it's not like they can go out and solve some problems in free agency. They are going to desperately need this draft class from 2022 that showed such promise and showed, ability and flashes of brilliance at times, I would say, in the case of Christian Watson, to not only, bring that back and hit that level in 2023, but to keep developing and improve and become more consistent. I think if there is anything that kind of has gone under-reported, under-talked about, what have you, about all of the disappointments in 2022, a lot of it was the guys who were already on the squad not living up to their expectations. And whether that was young guys like Eric Stokes, whether that was signings, re-signings in Devondre Campbell and Rasul Douglas, I think a lot of the issues you saw around the 2022 Packers was, or at least involved, guys who you were counting on who did not develop, who did not maintain that consistency. The Packers need that from last year's rookie class in a big, big way. Whether it is obviously Quay Walker or clearly Devontae Wyatt getting on the field more, that's a great start, but then competing at a consistent level. Really started to flash there at the end of the year when he did get more playing time. But the Packers absolutely need him to hit the ground running. Obviously, they're the receivers. All three of them, you're going to be expecting a lot more out of them in 2023. The list goes on, but the one kind of unifying thing you can talk about, Enagbare, his need, especially given the fact that Rashawn Gary won't be available at the beginning of the year, these young men have an opportunity to really build on their success. And the Packers absolutely need that to happen. There is no cavalry coming. Yes, you're going to get some draft choices in the mix, and undoubtedly you'll take what they give. But where the real key is for the 2023 team and the supporting of Jordan Love as they turn the page here at quarterback is going to be last year's draft class. I can't underline it enough. They need these guys to not only step up, hit the ground running, but to improve and to play consistently to their standard. Can't afford these guys to disappear for stretches, can't afford these guys to take steps back. That squad, the 2022 draft class, is going to be instrumental in whatever success the 2023 team has lying ahead. Just wanted to underline that for fine folks because I know this time of year it's all about the draft. People get all excited about the draft for good reason. It's always great to welcome in new members of the Green and Gold. However, the key to success in 2023 is much more about last year's draft class than it's going to be about this year's draft class. Just wanted to remind everybody about that. Hope you're all doing well. Good to see everybody in the comments section. People mixing it up as always. Big B is here. What's up, Big B? Hope you're doing well. Brandy's here, of course. Attorney Cooper, what's up, man? Jets fans are in la-la land right now. They think they won't be trading anything of value for Rodgers. Yeah, I mean, it all depends on who you talk to, right? Yes, there are crazies out there, and there's certainly Jets fans who are kind of daydreaming, right? And being nuts about it. But, it's not like Packers fandom doesn't have our version of that. You know, we're going to get 2 first-round picks, etc. They can just hold on to them all year and sit them as a backup to Love. I mean, these things are being bandied about, by the crazies on both sides. So, just, I would resist painting the entire Jets fan base with that brush, just because, yeah, you're probably hearing from a vocal minority, an outlier or two, but, and yes, I'm sure they are very loud and amplified on social media, but I think for the most part, Jets fans understand that they're going to have to pay to get Aaron Rodgers. And maybe it's not the 13th overall pick. Maybe the Jets do work out a way to hold on to that and satisfy Green Bay's demands, but yeah, they're not getting him for a song. They certainly aren't going to get him for the 4th-round pick they got Brett Favre for back in the day. I'll see that. Soder, Sean Ryan going to be the man in 2023. Hell, just getting on the field is an improvement. Now, that's such an odd kind of narrative slash rookie year, right? The fact there was so much. I mean, I thought so much promise heading into the summer, and then training camp he never really competed. Was basically inactive for pretty much every game until he got suspended. Just weird, man. Very weird vibe around the kid. I hope he hits the ground running this summer in camp, or hell, even before that, in the offseason program, and kind of at least tries to, rattle his saber a little bit and vie for some playing time. It'd be a nice development, no doubt about it. What else we got here, folks? We got Marcus. What's going on, man? Thanks for the super chat. I'll always have appreciation for 12, and I think Goody has done a good job, but I'm looking forward to a Matt LaFleur-led offense. How do you envision it going? That's a really good question. I've said many times, Marcus, I think I'm kind of just fascinated right there with you as far as I don't know what to expect. I think Matt's inclination is towards wanting to spread it out and throw it around, and he had the perfect quarterback to do that in Aaron Rodgers. I know a lot of people assume with Aaron out of the mix that all of a sudden they're going to button it up and run the ball. And I think there will be some of that, but I don't think it's ever going to be, mistaken for what Shanahan and company are doing out in San Francisco. I think you don't have to look much further than that game in Kansas City where he had Jordan Love under center in his first ever career start, and he's, sending out 4 or 5 wide packages and not running the ball a whole lot. And I understand there's context for all these things, and I get that certain installs are made and you're trying to plug in a guy and not upheave everything in the middle of the season. I understand all that. But, man, that was our first real taste of Matt without Aaron. And, can't say I was too enthused with the approach. Now, maybe that all changes this summer, and we will see. But I hope it means a whole hell of a lot more motion, a whole hell of a lot more and a return to the condensed formations. We saw a lot of that in 2020. That's my hope and that's my dream. And again, I'm never going to be under any illusions that it's suddenly going to be, oh yeah, we're going to go, heavy set and run the ball 60% of the time or anything like that. I don't think that's going to happen. But I am interested in seeing what the balance is there. And I do hope, you get Jordan out on the edge a little bit more, some bootleg stuff. Give him that high-low delineated read. Just some of the stuff that makes the quarterback's life a little easier. Maybe take some layups for the QB. And hopefully they do lean on the running game a little bit more. Make things a little bit easier for Jordan in that regard. What else we got, folks? What else we got? Run the damn ball. Matt putting it succinctly. Do I think we bring EQ back? Rob, I doubt it. Never say never, but I doubt it. Aaron, do you think the Packers could get 42 and 43 picks and just swap the first this year, and if Aaron plays next year, get the 2nd-round pick, and if they get to the Super Bowl this year and he comes back to a Jet, make it a first? A lot going on there, Aaron Harper. Yes, I think all of that is possible. Everything's negotiable, right? I do think with the acquisition of another 2nd-round pick for the Jets, it does set up for the Packers to probably ask for both of their 2nd-round picks this year and then a conditional pick next year dependent on various factors, including how the Jets perform, what kind of benchmarks they hit, and yes, of course, if Aaron Rodgers plans on returning in 2024. Lot to play out there, but yes, I do not doubt for a moment that conversation is going to be had. between New York and Green Bay. And I think, that's one of the drivers here. New York does not want to give up 13th overall. They do not want to give up their first round pick this year. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. And I don't think that's a terrible development for Green Bay. I think getting a couple extra second round picks this year, who knows what they do with those? They could package them and move up in the first round if they wanted, or they could make those selections. Well, we'll see. But yeah, I don't think that's the world's worst development for the Packers if that's the way things are headed. Love Andy Herman's idea of Aaron Rodgers and pick 15 for Garrett Wilson. Crazy, but I'd do it. You? Yes, that's crazy, and I would not do it. That's just me. That's just something I'm into. I miss when the draft was annually at Radio City and Jets fans gave Goodell his right due. I mean, it ain't like he ain't still getting booed in other cities. He's getting booed everywhere he goes. But yes, there was something special, something, I don't know, more authentic about the Jets fans booing him every year. And hell, don't get it twisted. The Jets fans booed everybody. I mean, everybody. It was great, though. I miss Radio City as well. When I first moved to the city, it was at the Javits Center. And then even before that, actually, my very first year in New York, the draft was in the basement at Madison Square Garden at the theater. They have a smaller theater there. They served beer. It was awesome. Oh my God. But yeah, I miss Radio City. That vibe was great. That was a great time. Always good stuff going on at Radio City when the draft was there. Luke, thanks for the super chat, bud. What's your favorite Packers moment? I know there's a lot, but the one that's in your heart. Cheers. Wow. Man, that's a tough one. Probably, honestly, clearly 96 winning the Super Bowl meant a lot, and I'll never forget it. But watching them win it in 2010, surrounded by my family and being with my girls and, having them see Dad as happy as probably they've ever seen him. And that was a big reason for me to stay because we got credentialed. And Corey went down to Dallas to watch, he was there for the game that whole week for all the media availabilities. But I stayed home because, that's what it meant a lot for me to be with my family to watch it just because I knew my girls recognized how much, not only the Packers mean to me, but also just how busy I am with it all the time. And, Dad can't do this or Dad can't do that because, I don't know, like the draft is happening or he's at the combine or whatever. I mean, I missed a couple of Olive's birthday parties through the years because she was born in January and Packers have playoff games in January. Or they used to. And, so I've missed a few birthday parties because of it. So all of that to say, like, to be with them when the Packers won it, you'll never. I don't think that's ever getting beat in my lifetime. I don't know. We'll see. I got a couple others, but that's the one that sticks out. That's the one that means the most. Edmundo, what's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. Mark Murphy is said to be sworn to secrecy. Thoughts? Well, I think he's, I saw the footage, and he was at the tech summit there in Green Bay, and I have little doubt that, yes, I'm maybe not sworn to secrecy, but I do not doubt for a moment, and I think I said this yesterday, that Packers PR, both on the corporate and the football side, probably talked to him after his WIAA interview and said, Mark, could you do us a solid and just not talk about it? Like, look, I appreciate that he did. I get why he did. He didn't say anything that anybody didn't know. He just spoke facts. But, especially in this media landscape that we find ourselves in, I am sure communications there at 1265 Lombardi said, hey, Mark, do us a solid. Zip it. Good times. Jeezy Baby, what's up, man? How long will Goodell be commissioner? Forever? Yeah, I got to admit, I was a bit surprised at the latest extension news. And that man is printing money. Holy cow. And I do think, and I've seen this kind of bandied about online, and I think it has some credence. I mean, maybe a little over a top and dramatic to say the man knows where the bodies are buried, quote unquote. But it's clear he's got the dirt and the juice on everybody, And I don't doubt for a moment that they want to keep him in place as long as possible. They, meaning the owners. Simply because of the relationships and the connections and everything he knows and all the institutional knowledge that he has, And he does a great job. Like, people hate on Goodell for good reason. I understand it. But you talk about the greatest, human pinata / shield being able to be up there and take the slings and arrows for these 30 other individuals who never have to face any kind of accountability. He's legit their shield. They love him. Oh, and by the way, the game has grown and the revenue has grown. I mean, go look at the latest media rights. That's all happened under Goodell. And I'm not saying he's the reason it's happened, but he's helped. They love him. They love him. Public, not so much, but they love him. So I don't think he's going away anytime soon. Nicholas, thanks for the super chat. Are you okay with Danny Etling remaining QB2? No. No disrespect to Danny, but no. I think they will probably, I've been saying they'll probably draft one, but I will say I found it interesting. Mike Garafalo on NFL Network, I believe it was earlier today, he mentioned that there are, quote, a number of agents for backup quarterbacks, unquote. I'm not really a quote, kind of paraphrasing there, but a number of agents representing backup QBs who are very anxious for the Packers to make this trade so that they can come a-calling, or at least get a return phone call from Brian Gutekunst. So maybe, perhaps, the Packers have kind of reached out and told people, look, once this trade goes through, we're going to give you a call. It sounds like they're still waiting. So, but I still think they should draft somebody, and no, I don't think it will be rolling with Danny Etling heading into 2023 as your backup. But you never know. Double, thanks for the super chat. You should check out Emerald's show on Roku. There's a guy from Lot 1 on the Packers episode. Oh, damn. All right. Lot 1 in the house. Thanks, Double C. I'll definitely check it out. Nags, what is your definition of what success looks like this year for Jordan Love? That's a really good question, Brandy. I mean, I know people are going to put up like what they expect numbers-wise. I've said it quite a bit. I just want him to look efficient with the football, move the football field, down the football field, score points, lead them to wins. As far as like the benchmarks, I have no idea as far as numbers go. But man, I just want a kid to get his shot and start 17 games, hopefully lead them to the playoffs. But, just a first year winning record, hopefully a shot at the playoffs while we're playing meaningful football games in December, and I'll be a happy guy. I'll be a happy fan. I don't expect the world, and I don't expect it's going to be easy. I think he's going to take his lumps. There are going to be really frustrating moments. There's going to be tough stretches. I do not doubt it for a moment. But I want a kid who's out there each and every week leading the offense and learning from his mistakes because he's going to make them. And again, if he's playing better in December than he was in September, and they look like they're kind of coalescing around him, and like I said, being efficient with the ball, scoring points, that'll be a good sign. That'll point to a good future. That's where I'm at. Anton, thanks for the super chat. Would it not make sense to focus on returning 2024 draft capital? This team has cap issues and a long horizon. Easier to ask for a 2024 first than a 23. I think it's obviously both. Yeah, sure, it makes sense. But you're then also kind of waiting to start whatever build up with your roster for another year while you're turning the page to a young man who needs all the support he can get in Jordan Love. And, you get the fifth-year option with these first-round picks. You get that this year, and you lock up a couple other guys, and you've got a nucleus that you can kind of grow together. I love that idea. But, that's why it's not the sting, possibly, that it might be if they don't get the 13th overall or this year's first-rounder, for the reasons you're stating. I think clearly there's advantages on both sides. You want that talent in the door earlier than later is all I would think. But, yeah, is it the world's worst thing if the first rounder doesn't come or a first rounder doesn't come until 2024? No, I don't think it's a death knell or anything like that. Good evening from London. Good evening, Dale, from New York City. I hope you're doing well, sir. What else we got, folks? My wish would be Jermaine Johnson from the Jets in a trade. A great defensive end to be. Man, I know. I think it was it Samini who put that in a piece for ESPN? I can't fathom that. I can't believe that. Like, there's no world where I think, even in Everything Everywhere All at Once land, like where I go to a billion different universes, do I think there's a universe out there where they trade Jermaine Johnson to the Packers? I just don't see it. I mean, now I say that and I'll watch it happen. But, yeah, I don't put a whole lot of thought into that one just because I can never see it happening. What else we got here, folks? What else we got? We got Snowboard Dan. What's up? Thanks for the super chat. If a decent quarterback is left in the draft in the later rounds, like the third round, should the Packers take him as a backup with potential if Love isn't the answer? Yeah, I mean, I think you take him regardless, even if Love's playing extremely well. You want that guy on your bench learning, developing, starting to grow. I've been talking about it all offseason. I 100% think they should take somebody, and I think the third round makes a world of sense because God knows they haven't been able to draft a decent player in the third round for a decade. I mean, who knows? Maybe the quarterback will be different. But yes, I do think taking a quarterback at any point in this draft makes a lot of sense. And not just because you're hedging on Jordan, just because it's the most valuable position in sports, and the worst time to look for a quarterback is when you need one. Just ask the Jets. I wouldn't hate that at all. Mundo, thanks again, man. Thanks for the super sticker. Appreciate it, man. Would Mims be a good guy to get in the trade? That one I could see. That one, and people keep positing which players could come back, and there are possibilities, but I'd still be very surprised if a player returns in this trade. Mims is a possibility. I've seen people talk about Corey Davis. I can't fathom how Corey Davis would fit into this trade. The Packers don't want to take on that contract to begin with, and also the Jets are going to cut him. So why would the Packers include him in a trade? Yeah, I don't see Davis, but Mims, that's a possibility. That is certainly a possibility. Elijah Moore, however, is not, as he's now a member of the Browns. What else we got? I think the Packers want the 13th overall just to package a deal to move up for a defensive player. Possible. Never say never. I think there are going to be a lot of groans around Green Bay if they take another defensive player, especially early in the draft. But you never know. Definitely a possibility. All right, everybody, I'm going to have to get going. I can't thank you enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Cheesehead TV social channels. Please do me a monster favor. Hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then tell your friends and tell your family, Cheesehead TV, we are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great night. Go Pack, go.